Hold up. Six Flags Over Texas will not have daily operation this summer? Okay, that's interesting. Oh, and we have our Snoopy Soapbox Racers POV. That's cool too. And new coaster rumors for Kentucky Kingdom? We have a whole lot to discuss, so let's get started. We are going to start off this week's theme park news update with Top Thrill 2 news. So if you are unaware, Cedar Point is closing Top Thrill 2 down for an extended period of time. But they never told us what was really wrong with the coaster. And I made a full video about the closure and what I think might be happening. You can go check that out if you would like. But basically, I said there were probably three main reasons why Top Thrill 2 was closed down. It was either the launch, the control system, or the trains. And it appears that the problem is actually the trains. And to make matters worse, it's a problem with all three of the trains. And from what other people have said, it appears that it could be a problem with the wheels, but again, this is not confirmed whatsoever. But I would expect that Top Thrill 2 will be down potentially longer than expected, because there's a good chance that Cedar Point will have to send the trains out to Zamperla, who I'm pretty sure is based in Italy. Okay, just check, they are located in Italy, and if they do have to ship the trains out to Italy, that's a very long boat ride out and back, so it could be closed for even longer than we all expected. And I do have to say, when Top Thrill 2 was announced, and I saw that they were adding their very own new trains, I was a little worried that these trains would not be able to handle like 120 miles per hour. So, an unfortunate way to start the week off, but let's just all hope that this issue is resolved quickly, because I don't know about you, but I want to ride Top Thrill 2. Heading out to Virginia, where Loch Ness Monster has reopened from its refurbishment. So again, if you are unaware, Busch Gardens Williamsburg did a major refurbishment of Loch Ness Monster, an old era looping coaster that was starting to show its age. But it's a super iconic coaster and still very popular. So what Busch Gardens did was they contacted Premier Rides, had them redo some track, refurbish everything about the coaster, repaint it, retheme the tunnel, and just make it a better ride overall, and extending its lifespan for many, many years to come. I really like this move, because it's just, again, such an iconic coaster, and I really feel like more parks should make an effort to keep these older, iconic, almost like historical, like, coasters around. So, good job, Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and I really hope this becomes, like, more normal in the theme park industry, because it's really cool what you guys did. For all of you interested in the stock market and Cedar Fair and Six Flags annual revenues, I got you covered. So Cedar Fair had a pretty good first quarter, with good pass sales and increased revenue, and their stock even rose a couple dollars, so perfect. Now on the other hand, Six Flags had a bit of a rough first quarter. Revenue was down slightly, lower per cap spending, but they did have better attendance, and their stock also increased. So hopefully these companies do even better once they merge, and yeah, there you go. Heading out to Germany, where we have a couple more details on Holiday Park's new Mach Extreme spinning coaster. So apparently in an interview with the CEO of Plopsa Parks, who owns Holiday Park, stated that, quote, "The coaster will be more compact but not shorter in terms of length. It will require less ground space and will therefore be more compact and intense and a bit more spectacular. And it will also be Tomorrowland themed." So it sounds good, and I think a more intense spinning coaster that's more compact could be a very interesting move. And it could make this coaster one of the best out there. Because from what other people have said, it sounds like Mach Extreme spinning coasters are just great rides in general. But if you make that more compact and intense and a more refined layout, it could be really good. So this is expected to open in 2026, and I really cannot wait to hear the reviews when this does get built. Heading back to Buffalo, New York. So Mind Eraser at Six Flags Darien Lake has been closed for 2024, and it has been confirmed that will be closed for the rest of this year. But it will reopen in 2025 with 2 new trains and, quote, a track profile makeover to offer a, quote, smoother and more comfortable experience. Alright, I don't know about you, but that sounds much better than whatever Mind Eraser was before. And I do like the trend that these parks are doing with taking old Vekoma SLCs and making them actually decent rides with new trains, and I really like that they are redoing and reprofiling some track. This all sounds very familiar because it's very similar to what Six Flags did to Six Flags America's Vekoma SLC. So let's just hope everything goes according to plan, and I really do like this move. And heading down south to Mason, Ohio, we have finally got the Snoopy Soapbox Racers official POV. So at first glance, it looks pretty good. It's decently fast paced. It's a family coaster. And you know, you're excited and everything because it's a new coaster. I mean, why wouldn't you be excited? But when you watch it a couple more times, you realize how short of a ride this really is. I mean, it is a very short ride. And don't get me wrong, I really like this addition to Kings Island, and I think it will fit in very well with Camp Snoopy. But I just wish it was a little longer because it's just gonna be a really, really short ride. Now, if you do want to look on the bright side, a shorter ride does mean that they can cycle more trains an hour, helping capacity a little bit, but it probably still needed to be a little bit of a longer ride to make it a more complete experience. But I get you have budgets and you have limited space and you want to have theming and everything, but just in an ideal situation, I do wish that this would have been a little bit longer. But I'm still super excited to take a ride on this coaster when it opens, I believe this Friday, May 24th. And make sure to stay tuned for my review of this coaster when I do get a chance to ride it. Oh, and if you enjoyed the video so far and want to stay up to date on all of the latest theme park news, then a sub to the channel would be fantastic. But that's not all, because there are apparently new markings spotted around Kentucky Kingdom. That maybe, just maybe, could mean a new roller coaster. And these appear to be between Roller Skater and back to Storm Chaser. And they're just little markings on the ground with numbers next to them. No explanation of what they could potentially be. I also did make a video about what's next for Kentucky Kingdom, so if you want a more in-depth look at what would fit best at Kentucky Kingdom and what potential coasters they could get in the near future, then check it out on your screen right now. But with the removal of T3, it really does seem likely that this could be for a new attraction. Maybe not necessarily a roller coaster, I mean I sure hope it is, but I highly doubt this is just like infrastructure improvements, especially with T3 getting removed just months prior. But that's not even the most interesting story of the week, because Six Flags Over Texas, and a completely unexpected move, is going to be closed on Tuesdays from now on. Now, if you haven't visited a theme park on just like a quiet Tuesday evening, then you don't know what you're missing out on, because they are so nice. There's literally no one in the park, the lines are short, and it's just a good vibe and energy at pretty much every single park. And you don't have to rush to get everything done, it's just such an amazing experience. But you will unfortunately not be able to experience that at Six Flags Over Texas now, because they're going to be closed on Tuesdays from now on. Now, Kennywood tried to do this last year, but eventually did end up repealing it and going back to daily operation throughout the summer. But I guess we do have to take into account that Six Flags Over Texas does operate year-round. So if you are planning on visiting Six Flags Over Texas, they will be closed starting June 18th on Tuesdays, and that will continue for the rest of the summer. And then following August 11th, the park will be on a weekend-only operating schedule. I know it's always frustrating when a park takes away operating hours or even operating days, but when you look at it from a business standpoint, it probably does make sense. They probably just were not making enough money on Tuesdays to justify staying open, and think they could also be having trouble finding staffing for the extra day. So again, it is unfortunate, but it could make sense. And as I always say, whenever a theme park does something, they always have a good reason. But let's just all keep our fingers crossed that Six Flags Over Texas does return to a daily operation schedule in the summer, and hope this doesn't spread to any other parks. Drop a like down below, subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest theme park news, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.